My dad said I was imagining things, until my cousin asked why I was never allowed to be alone with him. The comment slipped out during a family get-together that was supposed to be easy. One of those low-stakes afternoons where everyone pretends adulthood has smoothed over the rough edges of the past. Paper plates, folding chairs, familiar jokes recycled for the 100th time. I'd been telling a harmless story about how I couldn't remember ever being home alone as a kid, not even for short stretches. I laughed while saying it, because that's how you're supposed to frame things like that. Light, observational, not accusatory. My dad overheard and chuckled. He said I'd always had a tendency to overthink. Said kids confuse coincidence with patterns. He sounded amused, almost proud of himself for correcting me. No one challenged him. I was ready to move on when my cousin, who had been quiet all afternoon, looked up from her drink and asked, "Wait, why were you never allowed to be alone with him?" It wasn't confrontational. It wasn't dramatic. It was just a question, said too plainly to ignore. Conversation stalled in a way that felt physical, like the air thickened. My dad's smile stayed frozen, just long enough to notice. He said that wasn't true, said schedules overlapped, said adults were just always around back then. My cousin didn't argue. She just nodded slowly and said she remembered being told she couldn't babysit me unless another adult was home. That doors had to stay open. That rules changed depending on who was in the house. My aunt jumped in quickly, saying families do weird things, that it didn't mean anything. She laughed a little too loudly and changed the subject. But nothing reset after that. Later, when it was dark and quieter, my cousin asked if I wanted to walk around the block. She said she felt bad for saying anything, said she worried she'd misremembered. As we walked, pieces started falling into place in ways I didn't like. The sudden sleepovers at neighbors' houses, the way plans shifted if it was just me and my dad home, the constant supervision that felt normal at the time. I told her I'd always assumed it was about me, that I was difficult, unpredictable, someone who needed extra watching. She said she'd assumed the same thing about herself. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because of any specific memory, but because everything felt slightly rearranged. Like furniture moved an inch to the left. Nothing broken, nothing obviously wrong, just unfamiliar. I asked my dad about it the next day. He didn't deny the rules. That surprised me. Instead, he reframed them. Said he grew up in a house where boundaries weren't clear. Said he didn't trust himself to always know what was appropriate, so he made rules that removed ambiguity. He said it calmly, thoughtfully, like someone explaining a safety protocol. That answer unsettled me more than denial would have. I asked why no one ever explained it to me. He said explaining would have created ideas that weren't there. Said children absorb things they don't need to carry. He said intent matters. I didn't know how to respond to that. Part of me appreciated the honesty. Another part of me felt like I'd been raised inside a quiet risk assessment I was never allowed to see. When I talked to my mom, she didn't seem shocked. She said there had been conversations, disagreements. She said she trusted my dad, but she also trusted her instincts. She said caution isn't the same as accusation. I asked her if she ever worried. She paused too long before answering. She said worrying is what parents do. That answer didn't help either. Now I'm stuck in a strange place where nothing bad ever happened, but nothing feels neutral anymore. Every memory gets re-examined. Every explanation feels insufficient in a different way. My dad still texts me like nothing changed, sends memes, asks about work. He hasn't brought it up again. Sometimes I wonder if the rules protected me or protected something else. Sometimes I think both can be true at once. I don't feel angry. I don't feel betrayed. I feel aware in a way that's hard to live with. Because once someone asks the question out loud, you can't put it back where it was.